What was it like finally watching that premiere episode?
You know, so I know parts of it because obviously I was there in the driveway as the limos come in and I get to meet all the guys, but what I really loved watching is their interaction inside the mansion, because I keep wondering like what they're talking about in there, and you know, I keep hearing these stories about how they bonded so well, and I finally got to see the interaction and like how supportive they are of each other, and you know, I kind of started hearing their backstories a little bit, and I absolutely love that part of it. I loved watching the limos come in, reliving that a little bit, but those interactions in the mansion are just precious. They're just the cutest little men.
I know, but we're only one episode in, but I mean, they're fist bumping, they're supporting each other, they're getting emotional.
I know, like they've known each other forever.
I, for some reason, was living in a dream world. He was dying, and I was pretending it wasn't happening. I just couldn't accept that he wasn't going to be here anymore.
So now that you've been through the process in its entirety, you're watching it back on television, what do you think John would have made of this experience?
Oh, John would have loved this, honestly. He was not only just a huge fan of reality TV, he got so much enjoyment from that and even The Bachelor, but he wanted me to find somebody. He told me right before he passed away, like 3 days before he passed away, he said, you know, we had a great life together, you were a great wife, and I don't want you to mourn me forever. I want you to find somebody else. You have a lot of living left to do. And I like kind of put my hand up. I'm like, we are not having this conversation. You're not going anywhere. I was in total denial. And then, you know, like 2 years later, I think about that conversation, what a gift it was that he gave me, because without his blessing, I'm not sure if I would have been able to do this.
Well, I hope that you are able to find love twice in your life. You have some incredible eligible men. 24 of them.
I know.
Different personalities. I mean, they just kept coming out of that limo.
And big personalities.
Humongous.
They have such stories, and they are characters.
I'm Dan.
I know who you are, Dan. Good to see you.
What was it like meeting those 24 men? And I gotta say, I gotta give it to you, Joan. You actually got their names down pretty quickly.
I really tried. But I'll tell you, them getting on the limousines, the original entrances help you a lot.
It's Dad.
And this is the Bachelor Mansion.
Well, I want to talk about some of those entrances and the men that we're introduced to. Some that I feel like are standouts.
Yeah.
And then you can weigh in and give your input. So I'll name a guy.
I love this. Okay, tell me what you think.
All right. Well, first up, he was the first to come out of the limo. Pascal. That accent.
Oui. I know. I think it's going to be very popular.
Then I'm excited about this journey. I want to thank you for the opportunity.
Chalk. Mm-hmm. The man's got a very unique name.
Chalk, yeah.
Right?
Easy to remember, right?
Right. I mean, you'll never forget that.
There's a little rumor out there that you've got this very famous chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I've made my own chock-a-noodle soup.
But he also made you his homemade soup.
How cute is that?
So cute, but was it good?
It honestly was really good, but I was very embarrassed by my slurp. Did you hear my slurp?
Oh, I heard it.
But I was so worried about like my lipstick and then like dripping on this beautiful dress that I was wearing. So I just had to go in and I couldn't get like too close, so I had to slurp. So I'm like, now the whole nation knew I slurped.
It came in a mason jar. What do you do?
What could I do? But honestly, it was really good. And I loved that he took the time to like figure out something about me, which was really nice.
Jack. Now the man brought humor.
I feel like Jack is just here for the cannonballs.
He was jonesing to do cannonballs. I mean, the man came to have some fun.
So much personality, could sing.
I did it my way.
Yes.
Sported that pink jacket, loved it.
How about Guy? He made you smell him.
Oh, like it a lot.
Yeah, that was different, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
although I do love cologne.
I know, so it's good if it's a nice fragrance. In the preview, he says, he is falling for you.
Oh, yes.
But there's a hole, and I'm trying to fill it.
I've fallen for you.
So were you falling for Guy?
Guy is a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Guy's, I don't want to give anything away, but
I could see him being a front
yeah,
runner.
we had a really good connection.
Okay. Jordan, he started a group pickleball game with the guys.
They were hitting those balls hard.
Yes!
I know I almost hit Joan. Dan smoked one right by her face.
How fun was that? But it was close to dangerous for you.
It was terrifying. There were rackets and balls flying everywhere. So we started out with just the two of us, which was okay, except for it's a cobblestone driveway. I have high heels on and a long dress.
Yeah.
So luckily he could hit it like right to me. So I just had to stand there and hit it back, which wasn't so bad. And then when all the guys emerged and it was everybody playing, I like slowly made my way to the back. I'm like, this is dangerous up here.
Smart woman, because those pickleballs were flying
like right past my head. I was like, this could be bad.
Mark, Kelsey's dad.
Everybody loves Mark.
For good reason. He's one of my top. He's a front runner for me.
Yeah.
Look at here. I didn't say that. Hi.
Well, hello, Joan.
This is my dad.
I'm Mark.
And then in the preview, we hear you say,
Finding love is something everybody hopes for. I want that perfect feeling again.
I love you, Mark.
I know. I do love Mark, but there's lots of different loves in this. In fact, I feel like I kind of fell in love with every man on the show because, like, you share these really, really intimate, important moments because that's what the show is about. Like, you don't have insignificant conversations. Every conversation you have is important. You talk about life and how they ended up being, like, in their 50s and 60s and single and, like, about their home life and being single dads and, like, the struggles that they've gone through. So you have these, like, really, like, deep connections really early on. So I had a lot of love for these guys, and I hope they have it back, and I feel like they will be in my life forever. They are like really special human beings.
It's a lowrider.
Oh, gosh. This is hilarious.
Like this sweet ride?
Keith. Well, he rolled in that station wagon.
How cute was that? Very nostalgic.
Oh, so good. But you even said you had a lot in common with him. You feel like you could have fun with him. He makes you feel safe.
Yeah,
What was making you feel those things?
So, like, kind of, high pressure, part of the show, first meetings, the guys are really nervous, which then, even though I felt pretty comfortable in this role, I felt like a huge responsibility to make them feel comfortable. So, like, I felt like I had a lot of work to do. I remember being on their side and it being terrifying. And we just had like a nice conversation, and it wasn't difficult, he wasn't nervous. We had like a vibe, really easy right in the beginning. And then when it was kind of our time to be up, he's like, let's just get out of here. He goes, let's just grab some wine and some cheese and go sit on the beach. And I was like, that's exactly what I like to do right now. That would feel so good.
My kind of man.
It was good, so he just made me feel good. He just, like, I had an immediate connection with him.
You're so sweet.
Oh, thank you.
Keith also got the first impression rose.
Yeah,
I mean, how could he not?
So, like, there were a lot of great first impressions and a lot of really cool entrances. I mean, we had a horse, we had prune juice.
The horse took off.
I'm not, look at this.
Oh my God, you can't leave.
He's leaving, look at that horse, he's gone.
I mean, he didn't just leave, he like trotted down the driveway. He was, I'm out of here. This is not my place.
Right.
Where's the grass? I know, that was hilarious. So there are like really good entrances, but I feel like I couldn't pick somebody based on that because I would have had like 10 that I would have had to pick from.
Right.
So I feel like I picked someone who made me feel good. Like, it was all about the feeling, not about the entrance. So
when you passed out that first rose, though, Joan, you were going by all the guys. Oh, I'm just
why did they make me do that?
I'm having fun.
I'm sorry. Sit down, just passing through.
Wow, there's
Hi, guys. How's it going?
There she is.
I'm just walking by you. Bye, guys. You look like you're having fun.
That seemed to be the first impression rose.
Because every time I walk, they're all such gentlemen, and every time I walk in a room, they all stand up.
Right.
And they think like something is going to happen, like I'm going to make a speech, or I'm going to come and pull one of them. They all stand up. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, hurting their feelings as I was walking by with the rose.
I'm the daughter of Charles. Dad, I just want to say that I am so excited for you to go on this journey. You are one of the most amazing and hardworking people I've ever known in my life.
I enjoyed seeing the family messages and knowing how much family is so important to you. How did that hit?
I loved them. So I know how hard it is to leave your family, and it could be for a significant amount of time, depending on how long you make it in the journey. And it was the hardest thing for me to leave. You leave all your comforts. You leave your family, you leave your friends, you leave your house, to come on this kind of scary journey. So I loved it. They had like one last touch from their family, and it almost brought their family into the journey with you. So, and I loved the guys supporting each other, because some of them got teary, like when they saw their kids, and people laughed, and it also like spurred a lot of conversation. And now all of a sudden they have things to talk about.
It was such a beautiful moment. I loved it.
I loved it too.
I just want to say how appreciative I am that you are here.
The rose ceremony was very difficult for you. Why was that so challenging on night one?
I kind of always knew night one would be one of the hardest because, you know, like I said, you give up a lot to be there, and to go home on night one is like seems very unfair, you know, and because, you know, you're not positive that you've gotten everything from them. And, you know, I kept one around that ended up going pretty far that I was going to let go on night one. But I thought about like how nervous he was, and I thought I'd need to keep him around a little longer. I think I don't know the real him.
I just knew there weren't going to be enough roses. And if you leave, you have already won.
Just how emotional does this season get for you?
I think that's probably the biggest difference in this season, is that it is so emotional. And not just for me, although it was really emotional for me in ways I never would have imagined, but it's emotional for the men. And, you know, I think my vision of the men where they're gonna come and talk about like their golf game and like how their baseball team's doing right now. And that was so far from the truth. They were so vulnerable and so open with each other and so supportive, and it is a completely different show than I ever imagined. And the great thing about this season of The Golden is that people really wanted it to be longer. So we have 1.5 hour and 2 hour episodes, and you really get to know the men and their backstories, and they are just like the emotion and how they support each other. And I call them like therapy sessions. I actually haven't seen any of them yet, so I'm going to watch it with all of you. And
that's so sweet.
Yeah, everyone said that they left the mansion a different and better person than they came in, and every man said that.
Oh, that's all you can ask for,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that the journey helped them in some way.
People keep asking me, are you 100% ready? And I keep saying yes, but I'm not really. And I don't know if I ever will be, because John was a huge part of my life.
Now, in the preview, we see that you are concerned that you weren't ready to find love again. So when did you finally come to that realization that, yes, I can do it? How long did it take you to get to that point?
Yeah, that was like a really tough place in this journey, because it's not something I expected, because people kept asking me, are you 100% ready? And I kept saying, yeah, I'm 100% ready. But I don't think I really knew what that meant. And you know, I hadn't been faced with actually having a connection with another man up in, you know, after John's passing, until I got to that mansion and started forming connections. And all of a sudden, it hit me that, like, I don't know if I can do this. And the feeling I'd had was that I had to let go of John to have somebody else. And I honestly had to meet with the show's psychiatrist. And
really?
I've never met with a therapist, not that there's anything wrong with it.
You never sought therapy whenever John passed?
Well, so I really wanted to do group therapy, and it was during COVID, and I couldn't find one. I really wanted to talk to, not necessarily a therapist, I wanted to talk to other people who had been through it, so I knew how they navigated it, and I couldn't find one. So not that I didn't want it, I couldn't find it. So I've gotten through a lot of this myself, and but for some reason I couldn't get past it, and I was like, I don't know if I can finish this journey. Like, I am like at a stalemate. And I did have a great therapy session, and they said to me, John is a balloon in this hand, and you have another person in a balloon in this hand. You don't have to let go of this one to hold this one. And there's enough room in your heart for both of them, and you don't have to get rid of John. He can be in your heart and in your memories forever, and it all will be fine. And that's all I needed to hear.
I've only been in love with one person. More than one now.
So are you in love, Joan?
Let's just say I'm very happy, and the journey unfolded exactly like it was meant to, and you know, life has a way of doing that.
Yeah. I'm trying to look to see if you have any extra jewelry, but
Nothing extra.
No, not today. It could be under
not today.
lock and key, safe place somewhere. I'm trying to see if you're an engaged woman, Joan.
Can you tell? Am I giving off a vibe?
You have a glow about you.
I do. That could
you
be
might
my lovely makeup artist.
Love some bronzer.
Yes.
Okay, I actually want to show you something. We caught up with you before you even hit the mansion. you revealed a fun little nugget, a little Easter egg to us about an extracurricular activity you took part in when you were at the University of Maryland. We actually have this very fun clip because our ET vault is extensive.
Oh, you didn't find it, did you?
So, yeah, check it out. We were actually on set in 1984 watching St. Elmo's Fire being filmed.
That's hilarious.
And I mean, take a look at this little gem of a clip.
Action!
This is it.
Action!
This is so funny.
Action! God, look, it's Billy! Hey!
Did you see that? Me! Blink and you miss it.
That's
you on the bike.
There it was. Okay, that is hilarious.
How crazy is that we were there when you were riding your bike on St. Elmo's Fire?
And you know what's funny? After I passed by there, there was a cord and thing, and I literally slipped and fell off the bike. Thank God you didn't catch that.
Our cameras did not catch that, Joan.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I got paid $25 to ride that bike.
No, you did not.
I swear to God. I got to meet Rob Lowe, who is to this day the most beautiful man in the world.
Right? I mean, it's such a catch.
Yeah.
Since we've heard that Rob Lowe's your celebrity crush, one of them.
Such a celebrity crush.
How about this?
Any words of wisdom or advice for Joan as she begins her journey to find another man, some love?
Ooh, boy. Depends on what she's playing for.
She's playing for a husband.
A husband?
He's a fiance.
I'm feeling good about it.
This is her second chance at love.
Somebody that makes you laugh. True, and that answer is not only true, it's also very safe.
I can't believe that Rob Lowe actually had something to say about me.
I know.
He probably has no. He's like, Joan who?
No, he is gonna know. The world is gonna know if they do not already know. Let me tell you.
That's hilarious.
But so, how important is humor to you?
Really important. So I want the second half of my life to be fun, you know? And the first half of my life was epic, and my late husband was, he did everything big. Everything was fun. And I had such a fun life, but we spent a lot of time building, working really hard and raising our kids and, buying a house and building a business. And we had this dream of, once our kids were through college, it would just be the two of us, and we would just have the second half of our journey. We just fun about us. And he passed away right before my youngest son graduated from college. So I feel like I've had this kind of black hole for our future, and I just kind of live day to day, and I'm looking for somebody to have fun with. I feel like I'm at that point in my life that, it's time to do that. Yeah. And so somebody funny and fun is absolutely important to me.
Well, and I feel like that's what so many of us we want to see, the hope, the adventure, the sense of excitement, even in your golden years. I mean, the best is yet to come. You've had an incredible first act, and
I so did. I've been the luckiest person in the world, and now I get to do this. It was amazing.